But
Okay.
you have a new poem and I want to hear it.
Okay. Well, I have a couple new poems. So I'll tell you the first one here. Well, my grandniece who lives in Arizona, up in not Cottonwood, but Cornville, if you know where that is.
Yes, I know Arizona very well. I've been here
Okay,
a long time.
Cornville. Okay, so they live in Cornville, and they have a big piece of property up there. My niece, her mother, is my brother's girl, and my brother has passed away, and their mother left them when they were babies. So I have kind of moved in as as the matron, as the mother figure, and I'm
Okay,
the grandmother figure now.
okay,
Anyway, this 10-year-old little girl, her name is Lily, and she's going to have a birthday in September. And she's the creative one of the three
okay,
kids that she
okay,
has.
okay.
So, and when I go up there to visit, we always, the two of us sit down and we paint or we draw and all that kind of stuff. So, and she's really into animals. She has every animal in the world. So anyway, so I wanted to write her a poem on her birthday that comes up next month, just to kind of introduce her into the fun, because she's a great reader. She reads a lot of books, way above her level. So anyway, this is what I call Lily's birthday poem. This is for her 10 years. And
Okay,
remember, this is geared for a 10-year-old, so I'm going really simple here.
okay, okay.
Okay.
I like that.
There once was a sweet girl named Lily, whose smile was ever so pretty. Her love for all creatures was among her best features, and that's what kept her so busy. Her birthday bash in September was quite an event to remember. Small party hats on dogs, cats, and bunny. Serving the cake was even more funny. The turkey just pecked, the goats just nibbled. The chickens did nothing but eat bugs and quibble. So she hugged them instead and then went to bed, happy that they were so silly. And that's one of her favorite expressions is, oh, they're just being so silly.
That is precious. That is precious.
So that'll be fun.
Thank you. That's precious. Yeah, I wrote a couple of poems for my granddaughters, their grandkids. I only have two. Okay, boy.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, though, I've never actually read those poems. I know I was visiting them in Kansas City, live in Kansas City, and I was visiting them, and it was around Mother's Day, and so we're sitting around the table, and I had just one of my books had just come out, and so my daughter says, well, why don't we have Gigi read a poem? Gigi for Grandpa Gary,
Oh, okay.
why don't we have Gigi read a poem, So, as a matter of fact, I'm going to read that poem next time we get together because
Okay.
I love the poem, but it's not about them at all. It's about my dog.
Oh, I remember that poem. Yeah,
Oh, did
in
I
your
read?
book.
I do
Yeah.
that?
Well, I have it in your book. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
But what I liked about it, and they were, this has been 2 or 3 years ago. I don't know. It's getting a little scary. The girl is 11 now. Anyway, they were both under 10 at the time, but I was so impressed with the questions that they asked me after I got through reading. Little questions like, the little boy says, was he your best friend? And I said, yeah, he
Yeah.
was, and it was like little questions like that. And it's like, they were paying attention,
Yeah.
That was a very wonderful experience for me. By the time I get around to reading the one I wrote about them, they'll probably be past due on family stuff, too sophisticated and whatnot. My granddaughter's going on 12, and she's definitely going on something, she's growing up.
She's growing up. Huh?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, they do sometimes. Yeah.
But well, you know what? I enjoyed that so much. Why don't you just read another one?
Okay. Well, the other one that I wrote this week,
Unless you want to end it with a big bang or something. You can. It's just the two of us, so if you
it doesn't.
and close the show, you
That's right. I only brought 2 poems because I thought there was going to be more people.
you know what? That's why I've got 3 instead of 5.
Oh, well, then why don't you read one of yours? Yeah. And I'll save mine till, a little later.
But you know, I really have got to get in the habit of. We're so, in a way, we're new at this, but we've been doing it for so long that we take things for granted. I don't even introduce the show. I don't say welcome. You know, I mean, at some point,
yeah.
live people are going to be watching this. You know, and,
maybe.
it's a matter of just getting enough built up.
Yeah.
We just need to get enough shows built up. So I'm honor bound to do it. So just tuned in. This is another episode in New Poets. No, it's not New Poets Wednesday. It's celebrating new poets. And with us today, we've got Dale Baker, right? And me, Gary Cox. And there's several other people who are often on the show, but they couldn't make it today, so you bet us. But I think we're worth it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Of course, the whole thing is we would like everybody out there to write poems and come on the show. And all you need is the link. So if you give me an email address, I can send you the link. And also I can put you on New Poets Wednesday, which is on Facebook, one of my Facebook pieces, as it were. All right, so I'm going to read one. This is called Upon a Velvet Invitation. Okay? Upon a velvet invitation to go deeper into the silence of a silent prayer in church, I became a seasoned sprinter, exploding with a fury into the unforgiving matrix of distance over time. I became a pusher for a bobsled, churning madly for speed enough to jump into the missile and hurl me down the icy slope. I became the lost one who died upon the curve and floated in the black, feeling terror in my air. I became the found one, with solid chair beneath me, tooling with a quiet calmness into the void of peace.
Which book is that? Which book of yours is that in?
Probably the first one.
Okay, because I don't remember that one, but that's really quite nice. It's very powerful.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to get my act together here.
I think I'll go get mine. It's going to be handy.
Okay. That I believe is in the waters of Appalachia County, which is my first. I'm waiting for you now. I was talking. I didn't see you weren't there. You'll love this picture. I'm sitting here with the title of my book. Look.
Yeah. See, I don't have that one. The Waters of Appalachia. Okay, that's why I didn't sound familiar.
I'm shameless, I might as well say, buy this book.
No, you just say also available on Amazon.
Oh my gosh, I like that. Oh, well, as long as we're doing that, this is also available on Amazon. So
got that one too. In fact, I wrote you a nice review about those books. I bet you never even read it.
Where is it? I did
on Amazon. You need to go on Amazon, look under your books.
Oh, I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that my web manager didn't push me to do that, because she pushes me to do everything,
Yeah, because I know with me, when I first put my books out, then I got a few, comments, reviews on there. And once in a while, when somebody buys a book, then there's a review. But most of the time, it's a long time. So I can always tell, when somebody puts a review, because it's like
Yeah,
there's
same.
nothing new else there.
Yeah. And this is really the lifeblood, of people
Yeah.
who publish their own work, is that it's just like the comments on social media, but even well, on a different level, reviews. So, wow, that's great that you got a good review on there. Well, actually, it's great. I got a good review. I just
Well, yeah, that's the point.
yeah, that was the point, wasn't it? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will vacillate from time to time. I'm a vacillator.
A vacillator. That sounds like a medical term.
That probably is. So you're up though, aren't you?
Oh yeah, okay. This is a sunrise gratitude poem. I mean, like a lot of people, I love the sunrises and I love the sunsets. There's that great, peaceful, wonderful, feeling. And I put that together kind of with, I've lived here on Maui for quite a long time. And I had one of the locals make a comment to me one time. The locals always talk about being on island. You're not in Maui. How can you be in Maui, Auntie? You cannot be in an island. You are on the island.
Oh, don't you just love it?
Auntie is what they call any, woman that isn't, an old woman that isn't
So
related to them.
it's not really an Auntie Dale. It's just Auntie.
Oh, just Auntie. Yeah, Auntie.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's the thing, is that you were either on the island, and when you go visit someplace else, you are off the island. You are never in the island. Okay, so I'm always very careful when I talk about going someplace. I'm either on island or I'm off island,
Okay.
So anyway, here's my sunrise gratitude poem.
Okay.
I call it My Castle in the Sky. On my island in the sea, each sunrise bursts in slowing frames, cleansing gray from black, flat clouds, like paper silhouettes that glow, growing plump and ringed with light, yellows, pinks, and blues so high, funnel down and spear the sea. And I, so blessed to be here on island, free to see every morning this delight, taking in golden love, knowing all is well above, feeling strong, at peace and free on my island in the sea. Now I have to write a poem about sunsets in Arizona to have my two companion poems.
There you go. Since you are how do you call yourself? You're I'm trying to get like you. So you reside on two different.
Yeah, I have two homes.
You have two homes.
Yeah.
There's got to be a sexier way to say that than two homes. I was searching for that. I didn't get it.
Well, I'm an ocean traveler. That's what I am. I go back and forth over the Pacific a few times a year.
You know what?
What?
There was a line that I really liked, and I've sort of talked myself out of it, but it comes early in the poem, or now about midway through the poem, and yeah, I may have to hear it again. So I tell you what, if you'd read some of it again, and I come to that part, I'll stop you as soon.
Oh, okay.
Because I really want to make it. Sometimes the line will just grab me,
I know.
Good. And then of course I think about maybe I'll steal it, and I say, well, maybe not. Maybe
Well, I have done that. I have done, I have, because I do that when I read things. There's a sentence that grabs me. I write it down, and then I find that I use that somewhere else, and I love it. So.
Just in case I don't come up with enough of my own, I'm saying,
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
I really like that line.
Okay. On my island in the sea, each sunrise bursts in slowing frames, cleansing gray from flat black clouds, like paper silhouettes that glow, growing plump and ringed with light, yellows, pinks, and blues so high, funnel down and spear the sea.
That's it. Funnel down and spear
Spear
the
the
sea.
sea. Yeah.
That's a heck of a line. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And two things. One,
Yeah.
if you read a poem to me once, I'm only going to get maybe half of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not because I'm not paying attention. It's because my mind just, it's hard for me to listen and decide to remember at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I love that line. And as I was listening to the second reading, I was loving other lines too that I didn't even remember from the first time. Which I think that's good. I think that's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, I think, hopefully, that's the value of doing a show like this is that we can do things like repeat and talk about particular stuff that we like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a poetry sharing show. Yeah.
Well, there you go. You know what? That's going to be my new line, a poetry sharing show. I like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your line.
That's all right. You can use it. I don't have a copyright on it.
No, yeah.
And nobody makes a lot of money selling poetry, so we don't have to worry about that.
So far.
Well, see, I graduated from Lewis and Clark College, and one of the teachers there was William Stafford. And I don't know if that name means anything to you, but certainly in the Pacific Northwest.
What was the first name?
Now that you asked me, it just rolled off my tongue, but now Stafford, what is his first name? I forget. It just rolled off, but now I can't.
Willard or something?
No, it's I forget. But anyway, he used to teach English there, and I mean, I never took any of his classes because they were always filled up before I ever got there. But he was quite a famous William Stafford. That was his name, William Stafford. In fact, there's anyway. So and now I think he has a daughter that also writes poetry, but her poetry isn't nearly as good as his. But anyway, I don't know where I was going with that, but
you know what? Those words are so beautiful coming out of somebody else's mouth besides mine all the time. You too? We need to get some young blood on here, I mean, I shouldn't put us in the same category because there's seasoned and then there's just old, So,
okay.
I think I'm pushing the old limit. But I am writing a book, and I might as well start talking about it today. So it's
sure. Yeah, I know you've just mentioned it, but you haven't talked much about it. So what are you going to have in your book? Is it going to be poetry, or is it going to be other stuff?
It'll be some poetry, just because I'm a poet, and there's some in it. Fast at 80. I really haven't even tried to start describing it because I don't know. I can tell you that, for example, I'm using a lot of stuff I've already written because I have these. What is it that I have? I mean, I have a Facebook account and well, whatever it is, when you write you write poetry and you put it out there. Oh, blogs.
Oh, is that what you mean? Oh, okay. Yeah.
I started blogging probably in 2010. I mean, seriously blogging because I had gotten to an age where I had decided that well, I had this catastrophic computer thing, and it wiped out 3 novels and a few short stories, and
Mhm.
I was able to get some of them back. But when I got them back, I no longer believed in them. I said,
Oh, yeah.
I'm starting to see why I didn't finish that science fiction.
Okay.
I'm starting to see why I didn't finish that detective novel.
Hmm.
Because there's just, well, with science fiction, things happen so fast. If you've got an idea to write science fiction, you best get it down right away, because whatever it is, if it's futuristic, tomorrow, tomorrow
Yeah.
could be the day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah.
You don't go to publish for 2 months, and so half your stuff could be gone.
That's true. Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to write, and all of a sudden blogging was becoming the thing. So
Hmm.
um, I've got, I don't know how many blogs. I've probably got at least 5 blogs that I've been doing.
Really?
Oh
Hmm.
yeah, and a lot of my story of being
Hmm.
me at 80 is contained in those in the blog. So
Hmm.
I'm going to use them, and
Ah,
I'm going to, if I had to, and actually I'm pretending. I've actually got a friend of mine. I'm trying to hire her to interview me,
okay.
as though the book were already out.
Okay.
Well, it's just a game that I was thinking about. It would be nice, and I may have somebody actually film it, while
Hmm. Hmm.
it's just a made up thing, because I remember seeing a movie once where it was set in Dublin, and I can't remember the name of it. I'll try to for the next time, because it's a movie worth seeing. But the main character, they have a rock band. They want to start a soul group. And so the big soul guy is in town, and they're supposed to have a meeting with him. Anyway, it's he does this bit where he interviews himself, because
Hmm.
he's pretending that they've made it. They've made it
Hmm.
to
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
soul
Sure.
rock and roll world.
Okay.
Now people are wanting to know how he was
How
successful.
did he do it?
How
Yeah.
did you
Yeah.
do it? Yada yada.
Hmm.
So he said, well, why don't I get ahead of it and just do that now? I can get all that out of the way while we're
Hmm.
trying to become famous. Of course,
Sure.
by the end of the movie, you figure that group is not going to make it. But it doesn't matter, because the journey that they went through,
Yeah.
actually did the music, and went
Yeah.
out and did the ugly crowds and just lived the life. And it's such a good movie.
Yeah.
But you don't really care, you know, maybe he'll make it, maybe he won't, because he was the producer of the group. He
Hmm.
he was
Hmm.
he was the idea guy, and he got them together, and he eventually had to get their bookings and all that. Anyway, that's why I was going to do that. But anyway, Fast at 80 comes from about 15 years ago, I think, or so. Uh, my wife Bernice and I are staying in Sedona for the summer. We had started summering. We're kind of like you. We would summer someplace
Hmm.
other
Hmm.
than
Yeah.
than Phoenix, and and we did really well, uh, uh, with the places that we picked out. But you have to do that stuff way in advance, and
Yeah.
so we ended up. It was either Flagstaff or Sedona, and we said, well, Flagstaff, because it's hot, and it's not that cool in Sedona.
Hmm.
Said
Hmm.
Flagstaff, and we had a place up there, and it was like a big maybe, but we liked it, but by the time we got around to doing anything, it was gone. They
Hmm. Hmm.
somebody else got it. So we said, well, I guess we're going to Sedona.
Hmm.
But it was really nice. Anyway, I ran into some friends in Sedona who were staying there and stayed there every summer. When I say friends, I mean from high school,
Ah, okay.
you know. And uh, these two young ladies, they're actually our age at the time, but they come for a visit, and they're talking to Bernice, and they say, because Bernice says, "So you all knew each other in high school and like that?" They said, "Oh yeah, we knew Gary. We knew Gary. He was really fast." And Bernice's response was so telling. She, without missing a beat, she says, "He's still fast." And I thought, that's it. That's my I'm going to compete in October, and actually in Vegas. There's a senior Olympic meet that, since COVID, a lot of the opportunities for older athletes to compete dried up.
Yeah. Well, are you
Because-
sure you want to go to Vegas in August?
no, in October.
Oh, it's October. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Which means I've got plenty of time to train and everything.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a really nice meet, and I've done it several times. Not recently, but because everything stopped at COVID. But anyway, the things are starting to work out. So I thought, well, at the very least, if I don't do anything else this year, I've got to go to a meet that means something to me personally.
Mhm.
Since I've done well at this meet in past years, I can't wait to do it again. And
Of course. Yeah.
I'm going to try to contact as many of my old running buddies as I can and tell them, hey, October, be there
All right. Yeah. Yeah.
because I got something for you.
Yeah. Well, you better get on it. Yeah.
They're
So they
trying-
can plan. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, so yeah. I guess that's why I'm starting to talk to it, and you just happened to be the person that had to hear the first part of it. But running is very important to me. It has been my whole life. It has not been my whole life, but it's just I don't. I think that the purpose of it is to inspire people to keep living their dreams.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You know?
Well, I did a lot of running when I was younger. In fact, I stopped running when I met my husband because he had problems running because he had a little bit of a back injury.
Ah,
And so we couldn't do that together. So we ended up playing tennis. He could play tennis, and we did hiking instead. But I really enjoyed running. I mean, I had ribbons, and here again, I was at
were you a distance runner or
yeah, the most I ever did, I think, was 10 miles. I didn't do marathons, but I did 10 miles. And I mean, there's that, but what I really enjoyed doing was, getting up in the morning and just running for an hour, full out before I went to work. I mean, that euphoric feeling, of, whatever it is with all the
high,
endorphins.
baby, runner's high,
Huh? Yeah.
runner's high, that's what they call it.
Yeah, right.
Well,
I
it's a
mean, it
real
was,
thing. It's a real
yeah,
thing.
of course it is. Yeah, of course.
You will all of a sudden feel like $1,000,000.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're
That's
just
right.
moving along. I did. I figured this up, and I think yeah. I did long distance running for 20 years. I started in my 30s, and I didn't get out of it. I didn't even know there was seniors track and field. When I graduated high school
Yeah.
and didn't run in college, I thought that it was over for me. My running was over. And when I started, long distance running was the thing. Everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
And so I got into it, hammer and tong. I would repeat. I would do 2 and 3 races a week sometimes. But I would log I would log mileage up to 130 miles or 120, 130 in a week,
Yeah.
and
Well, there was.
and Bernice would travel. We would go and we had 2 things. We had a football and a newspaper. And the football was for she and I to play catch until they started getting serious about it.
is that right?
And the other one was she needed a newspaper because I could be gone for an
Yeah, right. Yeah,
hour.
yeah.
She wasn't.
Well, when I was in Oregon, there's an organization, and it may still be around, called the Oregon Roadrunners. And, they were an organization that just kept all things going on. Yeah.
That's where it all started. That's where jogging started.
Yeah, yeah.
You know. But when I turned 50, and discovered masters track and field, then it was like, man, I could shoot. I'm a sprinter. I could sprint. I can work out and sprint, and I don't have to have all these long.
Yeah.
I wasn't really all that. I'm not saying I was tired, but it was just like, my gosh, I have missed high school track and field all these years, and I was good.
Yeah.
And maybe I can be good again.
Yeah.
But I figured I got to the same place I always get. It didn't matter if it was long distance running or if it was sprinting. I am the undisputed leader of the middle of the pack.
How can you even tell?
Well, you can tell because there's numbers. You've always got numbers. I've been to like 5 national championships, and I've never finished higher than 4th.
Oh, okay.
But 4th in a national championship is not.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I have to get through 3 rounds, to get to the finals. And so I can live with that,
Yeah.
And besides that, it's like if you come to somebody's home turf, I'm tough in Arizona. You got to be, I usually win because it's more local. And now I do have some friends who are just burners and who kill me every time. They don't always show up, So and besides that, I balance it off at how much fun I've had just being with these people. And
of course, because it's social. Social too.
Yeah. And the thing about the long distance, you never really talk to anybody after the race. You might not even know anybody
right. You probably don't. Yeah.
But with track and field, I know everybody. All the people I've run against in the last, God, 30 years. I have now been a sprinter longer than I was a distance runner. That's weird. Anyway, we don't need to belabor that anymore. But anyway,
I think it's your turn to read another poem.
I knew it. And you know what? Nobody's keeping time either. Bobby's not here to keep time. This one's called "If You Free from Judgment Be." If you free from judgment be, enjoy your ride on the rock. Ignore the trickster tick-tock. Count your blessings up to 7. Even OJ goes to heaven. If you free from judgment be, you will know love unconditionally.
Very deep.
I like my short ones. They're easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So that's number 2.
I don't know about OJ going I don't know if he's going to make it, but
I can tell you a couple other people I don't think are going to make it. On the other hand, I don't necessarily. Okay, yeah.
Did you see that? Did you see that cartoon on Facebook where there's a guy up at the pearly gates and he's talking to St. Peter?
Yeah.
And he says, well, it says here you're supposed to be in hell, but you're coming from Arizona, so we'll just give you time served.
That's a good one. That's a good. Yeah.
Yeah. Are you keeping cool all right?
Yeah,
it's kind of like COVID, isn't it? Because you can't be outside much.
No, it's not at all like COVID because
it isn't?
Well, no, COVID, I go to a track, the track is closed. No matter what I want to do outside,
everything's gone. Yeah.
It's closed. COVID just totally shut me down, in a lot of ways. And there's no competition,
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You go to a park and they've got the baskets locked up and, it's like, there was such fear involved,
Yeah.
It's like,
well, a lot of people died. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know where we're going with that.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just so good to be back and running again, and I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah.
happy. And it's going to help the book so much because now I've got something that I can talk about right away,
Yeah,
being
sure.
philosophical and everything, you know. But I'm really happy to be doing it, you know.
Yeah.
I got,
Well, certainly it's good for you.
I haven't written a lot of new stuff. I mean, new poetry. I mean,
Yeah.
but in terms of putting the book together, I'm at 180, 190 pages. I'm not
Mm,
saying I'll use all that, but
mhm,
I'm collecting the book as I
yeah.
go. So
Oh,
that,
and it's from your blog, right? When it's
well, a
from your
lot of
blog.
it is,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
There'll
Well,
be
see,
some
I did that
original.
when I published my caregiver book. I started my blog when I was taking
Oh,
care of my
yeah.
husband,
Okay.
and so I would write little episodes as little episodes that would happen to me when I was taking care of him. And then after he passed away and I was in a writing group, it's like, well, I got to bring something to the writing group. So I brought those episodes of, that happened to me when he was sick. And so actually the group I was with was some very serious writers, and they were big into the publicity and you need to do this and you need to do that. And so they said, well, there's a lot of people that could use this information. I mean, what you figured out with all these little crises.
Absolutely.
So that's how my caregiver book came about. It was a collection. Each chapter is a different problem that I had when I was taking care of him.
Yeah.
And, so what happened at the end of the chapter, I have do's and don'ts. It's like, this is what I learned, and this is what you never want to do. So,
That's very interesting. I love this. And I think this is going to be. I'm going to step away and be the person who is trying to get this thing populated. But this is one of these things that we can do. Talking about stuff that we have done, I get ideas just listening to you. I'm thinking, I did something similar to that with my blog series on Bernice after she passed, and
mhm.
and it was like it saved me. I mean, it literally saved me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And
you got to get that stuff out. You
you
can't
do,
keep it inside, or it just will eat you up.
and if I haven't said too much about it with our group here, but I'm very, very big on voice. When I say voice, I'm getting to the point where I can almost tell that it's one of your poems because you have voice, and
Mhm.
I've heard enough of it now. Uh, and I would need to hear more, but that's part of the point. But what I was able to do with the Bernice and Gary blog series is I found my voice.
Mhm.
Keep telling people you got to do it, and yet no matter what I wrote, it sounded like somebody else. I mean, for years, and that's
Oh yeah.
that's kind of what held me back, you know, with that. And you could say, well, maybe you didn't have any talent, I said that could hold you.
Well, everybody has talent,
Yes,
but you have to do in order to get
you
better.
must do. You must do.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
I hadn't, and really, I don't know that I would. I'm pretty sure I would not have been a poet if I hadn't written that blog series on
Mhm.
our life together. It was because it did. I just cut to the chase, and I'm only talking about me and my pain and my memories and stuff. And through that process of it being so personal, I started sounding like me and
Yeah, of
somebody
course. Yeah.
else.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of concrete examples for that, but I believe it to my core that the first thing you got to do. Well, there's only three things you got to do. You got to write. You got to find your voice, and then here's the hard part. You got to find your audience.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, and,
I
it's,
know, I know, that's the hard part. Yeah,
if you're going to be a writer, then you want to take all three of those serious.
yeah, right.
So I think this what we're doing. I think will help us and some other folks.
Yeah, sure.
So
Well, and it's for me, it's always time well spent, you know, because not everybody in the world is interested in reading or writing, especially poetry. And it's delightful to hang out with people that like poetry and like the sound of words and, you know, like to do that. So
okay, so now that's a sound bite. I should have recorded that. Actually, I did record that. So you may see that. I'll have to give you credit though. It's like that can't be. That's not a little thing that he could have picked that up on his own and forgot. It's like, no. If I take that, then I say either that's his or he stole it from somebody.
well, I felt I had a compliment. I was contacted, oh, this was probably a couple years ago, from a writer, and she asked permission to use a line out of my caregiver book. And I mean, of course, I was thrilled anyway. And one, you know, people usually do that and don't ask permission. So I thought that was good. But what really made my day, it was one of those lines that I was in love with anyway. It's one of those lines that it's like,
Oh, that's beautiful.
oh, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh, this is great.
yeah. That's happened to me a couple of times, and
Yeah,
I have used those lines over and over.
yeah,
The chance I
yeah,
get in the middle of a conversation, whatever. I just like the line, you know,
yeah, yeah.
so much. Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good.
Mhm.
So all I need to know now is A, does either one of us know what time it is? And B, who's
Well, it must be pretty close, I think. I got 11:53.
we
So
got
yeah, we only have a few minutes. Yeah.
7 minutes. Long enough for your poem. You're next.
I only brought two. You're going to have to go on.
You're on the brush too.
Well, I have my book, but
Well, see, there you go. See that's what I started with. When I first started doing this, I just threw my books out there and I said, something's gonna pop up.
okay, I'll try to do one you haven't heard before, or maybe you don't remember anyway. So let's see.
Be careful.
Because when you just hear it one time, it's not.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Since there's just the two of us here, I can. I have several poems that are more on the little. I don't read them out loud at places because they have more of a little, innuendo kind of thing with. But they're kind of fun. Anyway, this is called Tedious Lover. For those of us that have, been there, done that, whatever. I mean, I think you might appreciate it. Anyway, this is called Tedious Lover. Thick, calloused hands slide over my belly. Fingers too thick and hardened to find soft spots. My mind floats, moves me, not quick enough, past routine touching, focuses on a memory far away. But my inner voice cannot be fooled or silenced. It screams, I am not a pillow.
I love it. I love it. You know what? I'm going to have you read that again next time we do that because
well, like I say, you don't know about those kind of things. So.
Yeah, but that one's so.
Well, those go over better, in an all girl audience.
I suppose, but I loved it.
Well, I mean, I'm sure men can, relate that also.
Yeah. Okay, I got one to close us out. And this I intend to make, actually, it has been made into a song, but I didn't like it. But I still believe in it.
Yeah, okay.
It's called You Could If You Would. You could miss the water before the well runs dry. You could taste the tears before you feel the cry. You could put the cart before the horse, and you could eat dessert before the main course. You could put the genie back in the bottle, and you could make yourself fall back in love with me. You could disappear the lean in the Tower of Pisa. You could put a frown on the Mona Lisa. You could start a fire with a dying ember, and you could forget before you remember. You could put the genie back in the bottle, and you could make yourself fall back in love with me. Make yourself fall, make yourself fall, make yourself fall back in love with me.
That's easier said than done.
Yeah, yeah, like impossible. But anyway, I feel some people will relate to that, you know. I think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Relationships are really, especially at this point in my life, it's like you think about all the different situations you've been in, and everything is different. People, any people along the line, and after a while, you think, well, I think I've seen everything, but then something else happens.
No, you ain't seen everything. You ain't seen anything. I think that our time is up.
Should be pretty soon, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have to end it. I can end it from here, but just a quick thing on why we're doing this, and then I'll give a quick thing, and then we'll sign off.
You want me to say something?
Yeah, just in terms of why we're doing this.
Yeah. Well, we're sharing poetry and learning from each other and having a good time at the same time.
I like that. Short and sweet and to the point. Yeah. I'm doing it because I want to get. I'm doing it to get girls and to get rich. And what do you think my chances are? Don't tell me now, but next week, because we'll be back at the same time in this same station next week. And it may just be Dale and I, and it may be 5 or 6 people, but it's going to be fun. And that is my final word.
Okay, see you next time.
Thank you. See you next time. Oh, wait. Oh my gosh.
There's more?
I almost did it. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Keep writing. It's good for you. I do that for Raven, he thinks I should
Yeah.
with that.
He's concerned about that, huh?
Yes, he is. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. And over and out.